Camera action. Now, I know the show is a little late, but that was because of some unforeseen circumstances. But thank you to all of you who are tuned in right now to Youth Camera Action. I'm your host for this evening, Kerdisha, and welcome. I always like to start off the show by thanking those regular viewers who tune in every Wednesday. I just want to say a big thank you. And to those new viewers, I just want to say welcome to Youth Camera Action and let you know that Youth Camera Action is a show where we talk about youth-based topics as well as highlight youth talent. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I'm Kerdisha, and I guess you can tell what tonight's topic is going to be about. Yes, we're talking about football. In studio with me are two guests from the Dominica Football Association, and I'm sure a lot of you around the island know them. They are Mr. Etienne and Mr. Degalarie. I'm just going to give them a brief chance to introduce themselves to you, the public.
Thank you, Miss, for having us on your show. Well, like you said, we're going to be talking football, so we are ready and willing to help the public in whatever questions you ask us. We'll be willing to assist in answering them.
Thank you, Ms. St. Certainly it's a pleasure for me to be here this evening at the Mapping Studios. As you said, I'm Mr. Degalarie, the current secretary of the Dominica Football Association.
All right, thank you so much for taking the time to come out on Youth Camera Action. We know that you're very busy man with football matters, etc. But once again, I'm very appreciative of you taking all the time because I know that football is a sport that a lot of young Dominicans, especially young Dominican males, are very enthusiastic about. And I know that you all are sports enthusiasts, especially football enthusiasts. Now, for those who don't know what exactly is the Dominica Football Association, Mr. Etienne, can you give us just like a brief overview of what exactly is the Dominica Football Association?
Well, the Dominica Football Association is the governing body of football on the island. I mean, and under the auspices of FIFA and CONCACAF, so everything related to football is the mandate of the Dominica Football Association. Okay,
and do you all have a specific mission or goal that you have?
Well, yes, I mean, to promote football, develop football, and at all age group, what I mean, the juniors and the seniors.
Uh-oh.
So, matter of fact, we develop football at all age group.
Mm-hmm. So the gallery is, as I said, a very busy man, and his phone is ringing right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, Mr. Etienne, I'm sorry, I said Mr. Degalarie. Mr. Degalarie, can you tell us, while Mr. Etienne is handling his phone, how long has the DFA been in operation?
Well, the DFA has been in operation for quite a while, but we have been affiliated to FIFA and these regional bodies for almost 20 years. Okay. Now, and as Mr. Etienne said, the mandate of the DFA is to promote football on the island. Mm-hmm. It's a governing body, and we work closely with various associations in Dominica, that is those who organize football and so on. So basically our mandate is to promote and develop football.
Okay, so you said that you work with other organizations. Does that include non-governmental organizations such as schools? Because I know that part of your mandate is to promote football at a young level. So do you all work with primary school, high schools? Do you all work with the schools as well?
Yes, very much so. We work with the schools for the sports division. Mm-hmm. As we speak, we work with the sports division where we have organized the secondary schools girls program, and these programs are coming on very nicely, and from these programs we select persons to represent the island.
Yeah.
Now at the primary school level, we also work with the girls. We organize grassroots festivals for the girls. So all in all, we work for the schools because we believe that the future of the football lies within the schools, and that if we are to make any meaningful progress, then we must go to the basics, we must go to the grassroots so as to get the persons we want to come on board on the national scene.
Okay, and that goes in high school?
High school and the primary school.
Okay, that's wonderful. I know I really want to go into the women's football, but I'm going to save that for a later part of the show. Now I want to talk to you about some of the accomplishments of the Dominica Football Association. Mr. Etienne, what are some of the recent accomplishments that you all have under your belt?
Oh, well, yeah, we have a number of accomplishments. In terms of the men, I mean, well, we're talking about the senior team. We've now qualified for the second round of the World Cup qualifier, and I think Dominicans are aware of that. So we will be playing Canada on the 11th in Dominica and on the 16th in Canada. So I think that's a big accomplishment for the senior part of it. In terms of the youths, we have staged these grassroots programs that we never had before in Dominica. And like Mr. Degalarie said, if we realize to start off football, we have to start at the early age. So we have put these development programs in place that we can capitalize on the future, the planning of the development of football in Dominica. As we also speak, we are also planning to send our young boys to Cayman Islands later this year. They'll be going to the Cayman Islands sometime in August, where we have the under 15 competition stage in either Cayman Island or Jamaica, one of these countries. So that itself is another youth program. Next year we'll have the women going to Cayman Islands. So a lot of development programs are in place now. And like Mr. Gomez mentioned, the Girls Festival at the primary school, we worked with this school to have these festivals, and we'll continue to monitor them. We've launched them in 3 different areas. We've launched them in Portsmouth, we did a launch in Cassibus, and we did a launch in Roseau. So later down, we are going to monitor them and follow their progress, and then maybe have a few launches in other areas in Dominica.
Okay, and I know you said that it's wonderful that we qualify, in FIFA. How did it make you, as a body, as the DFA, feel personally to know that, for all the hard work that Dominica is now qualifying? Well,
yes, it made us feel great. I mean, we played against BVI in Dominica, where we one game drawn and we won one game, and then that actually put us to the second round, which is in Canada. So our work has just started, and we'll continue with our players to develop them in the best way. And we have to say thanks to the coaches also. I mean, they did their share. I mean, they worked hard. And as we speak, they're in training now. So it's something that is going to make Dominica proud when Canada comes over.
All right, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right, we're going to take a short break right now. And I just want to let those viewers know that those who don't have mapping, that they can tune in on www.tdnentertainment.net. You can view us live. Please also follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Stay tuned. We'll be right back to Youth Camera Action.
Have you paid your mapping bill? The 10th of the month is disconnection. Upon disconnection, visit Mapping's main office. You will be required to pay off your balance and the reconnection fee. Reconnections will be done within 72 hours. So, avoid getting disconnected. Pay your mapping bill on time, because life is better with mapping.
Juicy, drink today. Juicy, same great taste. Juicy, original drink. It's an island thing.
Get your red and banana,
Pineapple, juicy cola,
orange or apple,
juicy for you
and for your neighbor.
It's an island thing. Enjoy it juicy, the original island thing.
Juicy!
Thanks for staying tuned to Youth Camera Action. Once again, I'm your host, Kerdisha, and in studio with me are members of the Dominica Football Association. We have Mr. Etienne and Mr. Degalarie. Tonight we are talking football in Dominica. Now, right now we are also taking calls. So if you want to ask a question, you can call us on our number, which I will give to you momentarily. Now, we were talking before of how, exciting it was that Dominica was qualifying, for the FIFA that you were saying in Dominica. Now, how was that match exactly? How would you describe it if you have to judge, our players, based on their experience? How was that match?
I think we got the support of the public, and we have to say thanks to them. I mean, in the past, Dominicans tend to think, well, we didn't have the support, but that, I think, support comes with being victorious. So even if the second game is where we had a full house at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, and I would believe, and I know that we're going to have even a bigger crowd on the 16th of June in Dominica. So I believe that the Dominican public have seen the difference of football in terms of the management skill that we are putting forward and the development programs we're putting in place. Like Mr. Degalarie mentioned, it's from the grassroots, you know, and everything starts from the kids down here. Because what we've noticed that for us to develop football, we have to start at the primary school, and we are doing just that. We've started with the Women's Girls Festival. We've done the under 15. We did under 17 last year. So we have the real transition program in place. So it's just from juniors to the senior. So we are bridging the gaps then, that before we had too many various open space. So then you find the problems of development was creeping in.
Okay, and how do you handle in terms of management, how do you all handle, you know, the different, you know, who is doing primary schools, who is doing girls, who is doing under 16, who is doing, you know, the adults, the girls, the older girls? How do you all manage that?
Well, we have various coaches in place for that. We've established various coaches, and I must say the coaches we have worked with over the past months are doing incredibly well. I mean, the writing is on the wall in terms of the progress that the young kids are making, and you can see they're energetic towards the football development. And that we have to say to even the academies, you know, we have helped the academies in recent times in terms of equipping them. And I think that is going a long way because, again, what we notice that if we have certain academies and they're not equipped, that it's somewhat a burden for them. So we have the academies, and we intend to help other academies that spring up in certain areas.
Okay, what do you call it, an academy? Is it like a group of football players studying?
Well, basically, the academies are organized by various communities in conjunction with the Football Association. And the academies, they have a group of young boys and girls, primary school age to about third form high school. And every now and then, based on the structure of the academy, they bring these players together and where they try to teach them the basics of football. It's like a sort of a nursery. And from these academies, these players, if they continue playing football, they might graduate into the various national teams, for example, the under 15, the under 17, under 19, and even to the senior team. And there are quite a few persons who came from the academies, and these persons have graduated right up to the senior level. So these academies, they are really trying their best, and let me just take this opportunity to congratulate all the organizers of the various academies. Certainly, the job that they are doing is something that is very commendable, and they must be encouraged to continue. And we in the DFA, we recognize the importance of the academies, and therefore we have given them all the assistance that we can. Just recently, we made a presentation which comprised various football equipment to the academies so as to enable their programs to run smoother.
Wow, that's great. And it's funny how you mentioned that some of the players who started from the academy would go on to, you know, join the major teams, because I was just going to ask, you know, what is the process of getting on, like you would say, the national team? Is there like an audition? Do you have to have certain requirements? What is that process like?
Well, when there's a tournament coming up, we try to prepare early. For example, if you have the age group tournaments like the under 20, then we would scout around through the various leagues that we have, the First Division, the Premier, and the All Island. And we have people who would go to these games and identify players. And these players will be brought to a meeting, and then a coaching staff will be appointed. That will comprise a head coach, an assistant coach, a medical person, a trainer, and so on. And these persons, they would like trial, they would practice, they would train. And closer to the tournament now, the coaching staff would select the final squad to participate in the tournament.
Okay, I see we have somebody calling us. Hello, good night. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
All right, you have a question for the personnel here today?
I know school we have a mentorship program.
Okay, she wants to know if you all have a mentorship program in place.
Is she referring to any specific age group?
Are you referring to any? Oh, she's gone. I guess she's not. I guess she's referring to all of them.
But
maybe the younger ones.
what we do is that when we have teams, after we have selected the teams, we bring in different personnel with different skills to talk to these people. For example, just last week, the national team, they had an audience with an individual who has expertise in terms of health. So that is important. Just for a previous team, we also brought in persons to talk to these people because we believe that is very important. We have also used motivational speakers. So these are the kind of things that we try to do whenever we select a team because we understand that these things are very important.
That's good. Okay, well, caller, you heard it, that the DFA encourages their players through the use of other measures. Now, the number to call, if you would like to call, is 615-6394. That's 615-6394. Now, I want to get into a little bit about the coaching area because we know that without a good coach, there's no way that you can have, effective and well-trained players. So, what is the coaching process like in the DFA? Is there like a procedure? Are there requirements? Do you have to be a coach for a certain number of years? Do you have to have a certain degree of experience? What is that about?
Well, what we have done is, through FIFA, we have staged a number of coaching courses. Every year we have coaching courses. But we want to go beyond that, too, because we were the first who implemented the grading of coaches in terms of the license E course, which did with the US FA. We did the CONCACAF D license course, and our intention is to do the B or the A license course. We have discussion with UEFA already on that, and they are willing and ready to assist us with professional coaches. It can either go both ways, where we will get a coach from UEFA coming over to Dominica, and we'll invite the clubs to send in somebody they think of in their club that has the expertise or willing to advance in that coaching skill. Or, well, the discussion we have also had is where we would identify maybe at least 5 coaches from Dominica and send them across to one of these European countries, and they can, because the further you can get graded, it's better for the football development part of it. So we have seen the need for the coaches development, which is an aspect that we have established, and we will continue that. One day then we will have some from our coaches with an A license certification on island.
Okay,
let me just add, in addition to what Mr. Etienne said as it relates to coach development. Just last year we staged a CONCACAF license D seminar course for coaches. So quite a few persons have license D certification, and that in itself is a very big step. So from there, these persons can move up the rank. And what we've done to ensure that the skills of these persons do not go to waste, we have attached these persons to the various national teams that we have. So at present, all the coaches that we have attached to the national teams, they have some sort of recognized certification. So we do not just take anybody and appoint them as a coach of a team.
That's wonderful, because without, like I said, without the proper coaching, there's no way you can have a proper team. And I just want to point out that coaching actually plays a big part in the players' lives, because if you do not have a coach who is, let's say, encouraging or motivational, or somebody who is so charismatic that they encourage you to be a better person and a better footballer, there's no way that you probably have the confidence or the determination to do what you have to do. I'm sure both of you probably had coaches in your life that influenced you in some way or another. So that's very important in itself. Now, in terms of the football players themselves, right? I know that a lot of people say that sports actually set up a great deal of discipline in your life, and that can relate to your life in other areas. It sets up discipline. What would you say to that?
Well, yes. On that note, yes, sports helps your whole lifestyle, as a matter of fact. And we have established that at the under 17. Okay, because what we had in the past is like every tournament, you bring a group of young guys together, and then when the tournament is over, then they go back to the various community. But what we have done through the under 17, that we have kept them in training. They may be in training for over a year now. So that itself, then you can nurture the discipline part of the kids, because you will know who is falling off the tracks a bit and correct them. So it helps the discipline part of it, because football is where you have this discipline committee established at the Football Association. So it takes the line of discipline. I mean, guys have to be in par with the rules and regulation of DFA and football. because football is governed by laws and you have to encounter with all the laws of the game. So if you understand the laws of the game at an early age, it puts you in a better frame of mind to play better football and develop your own personal lifestyle.
Okay, do you have a personal experience of a player that you saw, you know, change in a positive way because of football?
Well, yeah, you see young guys, they start going on the negative way, and then we'll bring them in and maybe, like Mr. Ega mentioned, bring somebody to discuss with them, you know, and that helps to pattern their lifestyle and change their lifestyle, realize whatever they were doing is not the correct way, but they have to do something different because they like football, and football is maybe the vehicle of getting young persons to come to play and to mingle with each other.
Yeah, Mr. Degalarie, do you have a personal experience of, you know, a young person being changed because of football?
Yes, there are quite a few that I can recall. There was a player who had gone on to represent the island, and then he got himself in some trouble. Upon return to the island, we spoke to him, and then we've seen a change in his attitude. Certainly a change for the better by just speaking to him and having him see the importance of being an ambassador and the benefits that can be derived from football. So sometimes...
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there because we're gonna take a break, so stay tuned, we'll be right back. Don't lose that thought, Mr. Degalarie.
We bring you the power to light up your world from every corner of the nation. Your current needs we serve in the wind and the rain throughout the night. We bring you light. Domlek, the power to serve you better. Domlek, the power to serve you better.
Entertainment, sports, news, travel, cuisine, and arts. Ping TV is here. With over 80 great channels to choose from to satisfy your entertainment needs no matter what. Watch all your pay-per-view programs with ease. Tier services included Fox Soccer Plus, Speed TV, and tennis. Watch quality local programming like the Channel 5 News and Ion Sports, all from the comfort of your home in full digital and HD. The thrill, the scale, and the emotion. Marpin 2K for Ping TV, bringing value home because life is better with Marpin.
Thanks for staying tuned to Youth Camera Action. Once again, I'm your host, Kerdisha St. Louis, and tonight we're talking football in Dominica with members of the Dominica Football Association. To all those who are tuned in, thank you so much for staying tuned, and to those who are, you know, online on tdnentertainment.net, thank you as well for staying tuned. I hope that you are also following us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Once again, tonight we are taking calls, so those of you watching, if you have any questions, you know, pertaining to football in Dominica, you can call us at 615-6394. Now, before the break, Mr. Degalarie was telling me of an instance where he saw the change that football made in a young man's life. So I'm just going to allow him to continue his statement.
Yes, and we have a lot of good kids around playing football, and many times persons complain that they are not on the right track. I think what really happens is that some of them, they need some little guidance. They need persons they can emulate, persons who can serve as role models. And many times they do not get that sort of help that they are looking for. So what we've done in the DFA is try to ensure that whenever we have a team that is selected, we bring people who can speak to them. For example, we have persons who can play a father role or a motherly role for these people, because we understand that as young children, young boys and girls, they will be caught up in the activities of the day. Some of them might find themselves doing things that are not really what they should be doing. So we simply have to help these kids and let them see the importance of being good kids, the importance of playing football, and show them where they can go by playing football. We always encourage them whenever they go out to represent the island to give up their best, because many times these tournaments, you have quite a few scouts from the big clubs in USA, in Europe, and so on. And you never know. You just never know. If you go out there and you give your best, some person can look at you and show an interest. So that is what we try to tell them by way of motivation.
Okay, and I know that you were speaking about, you know, the different ways. What are some of the other opportunities that one can get from playing, you know, football in Dominica? If you are, you know, you dedicated, you're an excellent player, you're playing on the national football team, what are some of the opportunities out there for you? Because I guess a lot of the viewers out there want to know, you know, if I go and play football, you know, I probably just travel a bit, or, you know, what are some of the other opportunities out there?
There are many opportunities, and I'm going to give you specifics in a while.
All right.
But you see, a lot of times persons say, oh, they just travel and so on. But when you travel and you play well, if you are an exceptional player, it's obviously persons are going to look at you. And last year and this year, last year we sent 2 young men to Antigua to participate in an MLS combine which was organized by the CFU, Caribbean Football Union. And at that tryout, there were scouts from the MLS, the Major League Soccer in America. And if these guys, well, I must say that they tried their best. But if they had gone on, then they would have been playing professionally. This year, we sent a guy to Puerto Rico. So we always look for opportunities and ensure that we take full advantage of the opportunities. However, we can only do so much. The onus is on the players to give off their best. You are given an opportunity to go out there, you perform, and you impress the persons who came to look at you. So these are the kind of opportunities that we are providing for the players. So it's much more than traveling. It's getting an opportunity to play a game, and your persons are actually looking out for your talent and so on.
Okay. And if I may lend to that also, there's also opportunity for scholarships. Yes, football is what you are playing, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for academics in terms of scholarship, you know, because being a good footballer, then persons will identify you, and there's opportunities where education comes into play. So it works hand in hand now. It's not just playing football, but football and your academics comes hand in hand.
And let me just add, there are a few Dominicans who have actually gone on to college in the USA based on football scholarships.
Wow, that's great. Because I was just going to ask, you know, what is the highest, like, you know, level, I guess, a person has reached since playing since starting from the Dominica Football Association in Dominica National Football Team? What is the furthest that, to your knowledge, that an individual has gone?
Well, we have persons who are playing semi-pro. For example, we have Julian, who's a current member of the senior men's team. He's in Trinidad, and he plays occasionally in Guyana. So he's one of the persons, he's one of the bright prospects. He's playing semi-pro, and there are a few other guys who played semi-pro too in Antigua and also in Trinidad. But I must hasten to add that today, there are many more opportunities for persons to play semi-pro and professional football as compared to 15, 20 years ago. So there are really endless opportunities. One simply has to decide what he or she wants to do and go and get it.
That's great. And in terms of funding, because I know that you said that you all are a non-profit organization, you all send people away. Are there any collaborations that make, you know, this kind of things possible?
Well, yes. I mean, the colleges, I mean, will like I said, the coaches, the scouting, and they will enroll you in certain programs that will help you in terms of assisting your scholarship. I mean, they have assisted a number of persons also, but there's always opportunity that as soon as you get to the college level, that the colleges will find ways of programs and enrolling you, because they never want to leave out a good player. Yeah, they always encourage the players to come. So
does the DFA send them away on their own money, or does the government assist you all, or because I know that you said you send them off to qualify, etc., etc. So do you all pay to send the players?
Also, you are referring to when they take part in tournaments?
Yes.
Yes, DFA funds everything.
Okay, and you all raise money, or
well,
you all
DFA
partners?
is affiliated to FIFA, which is the world governing body.
Okay.
And as a member of FIFA, FIFA provides you with some funds to run your programs, and from the funds that you receive, some monies must be expended on youth programs. Some must be expended on women's programs. So, for example, if there's we just saw the women's team came back from St. Vincent 2 weeks ago, where they did extremely well. So some of the monies and more that will be allocated for women's football would go towards meeting the expenses and so on.
Okay, and speaking of FIFA, like how are we ranked, Dominica's team? How are we ranked in FIFA?
Well, we are ranked 178th. I mean, there's a lot of work to be done, and we are trying our utmost best in terms of the programs we have. But you see, many persons make a big issue of ranking. It's true it is important to have a decent ranking with FIFA, but then what is more important is the program that you put in place at the grassroots level. So when these programs come on stream, sooner or later they will bear fruit, and then your ranking will improve. So that is the eye that we are looking at it from.
Okay, and like how often does FIFA rank? Is it like every 2 years, every 5 years?
No, the rankings is every month.
Oh, it's every month.
And then you will be ranked based on your performance at games. So if you play a lot of games and you are very successful, it means that your ranking will go up drastically. If you do not play games, if you are stagnant for, let's say, maybe a year or so, you have played no international games, it means that you would not have accumulated any points for your ranking. We have our men who will be taking part in the Windward Islands tournament next month from the 10th to the 17th. And if they perform well at that tournament, if they go on to win the tournament, it means that they will get rating points which will pilot them right up the rankings.
Okay, and has Dominica's numbers like in rank improved significantly over the past couple of years, you would say?
Yeah, yes, Dominica a few years ago, when we did very well, we had the Digicel tournaments, Dominica ranked as high as 130, and I think that's the highest it has ever reached. Because you would appreciate the fact that in the ranking you have things like Brazil and the other big powerhouses of football, so they come as part of the ranking as well.
Okay. Well, we're going to take another break in a little while. I just want to say that I'm having a lot of fun because a lot of the information you're giving me right now, I didn't know. And I am a football fan. I do watch football on the television. I like to see it internationally played. I also go to, games locally. Unfortunately, it's not as packed as I would expect it to be sometimes. But I mean, it's all a process, as you would say. And hopefully more and more locals will come to more games because it's really good to see, to show the players that we are supporting them. So we're going to take a break. Once again, I'm your host, Kerdisha St. Louis. You're tuned in to Youth Camera Action. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Tell your friends if they're not tuned in to tune into Youth Camera Action. We'll be right back. Don't change that channel.
We bring you the power to light up your world from every corner of the nation. Your current needs we serve. In the wind and the rain throughout the night, we bring you light. Dominic, the power to Dominic, the power to serve you better.
Entertainment, sports, news, travel, cuisine, and arts. Pink TV is here. With over 80 great channels to choose from to satisfy your entertainment needs no matter what. Watch all your pay-per-view programs with ease. Tier services included Fox Soccer Plus, Speed TV, and tennis. Watch quality local programming like the Channel 5 News and Ion Sports, all from the comfort of your home in full digital and HD. The thrill, the scare, and the emotion. Marpin 2K4 Pink TV, bringing value home because life is better with Marpin.
Thanks for tuning in to Youth Camera Action, a show brought to you by the National Youth Council of Dominica and Marpin 2K4. This evening we're speaking football in Dominica, and I'm glad Mr. Degalarie just told me that somebody's already putting it on Facebook, so I'm glad that you are out there putting it on Facebook, you're putting it on Twitter, you're putting it on Instagram, because it's so important for you, the viewers, to tune in, because of course we do it all for you, for your benefit. Now, before the break, we were talking about, how the Dominica Football Association goes about, funding players and how they are related to FIFA. Now, I know that there are a lot of challenges, involved in running an association such as this. I read the NO often, and I see that sometimes, the association is probably, in a lot of controversy, I would say, with, I'm not going to go into it, but I know that there are a lot of difficulties, a lot of criticism from the public, a heavy criticism from the public. So what are the challenges, and how do you all deal with that?
Well, yeah, I mean, the level at DFA is, there will always be challenges, and I think we are handling it at the best way. the money that we allocate from FIFA, I think it's been managed in the right direction and in terms of programs. And we can say in 2014, 2015, that all our teams, women, the youth teams, the senior team, have traveled, all over, well, to play various tournaments. And that is a great challenge. I mean, because we will all know that transportation takes a chunk of money. When I'm talking transportation, I'm talking airline tickets. And then we have survived in this situation whereby maybe the other countries are reaping off the benefit in terms of revenues from gate receipts, which we do not make at none of our games. All our games are at an open field. So I think all in all, I think in what FIFA is giving, we're managing it satisfactorily. I mean, that will maybe in the near future, in the next couple of months, when we have our goal project that will be completed, then some form of generation, money will be generated, will help not just us, but the various clubs and teams, because our plan also is to maybe give a percentage of the gate receipts back to the team, because we realize that they have a cost also. And just last week we were talking of club licensing. So if they have to manage their own affairs, it will be fair that we contribute something back to them, and that will be some form of way that they can make some revenue. So then we'll have to generate some more funds to their game and make some much more cash for themselves.
Okay, I see that we have a caller. Good evening. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Hi, good evening. You have a question?
Yeah, well, question and comment as a matter of fact. My question really is to maybe Mr. Etienne. Mr. Degalarie can weigh in on this if he wishes. The DSA has been doing some great work, I must say, with the young people over the years. But with anything, we would like to ensure continuity and sustainability. Mr. Etienne, my question to you is, how do we ensure continuity among the DSA, especially including the young people? We know we have elections coming up very soon. We know we're moving to club structure and club licensing and so on. How can we include the young people in the administrative structure or the administrative framework of the DFA and running football on the island? Is that something that you encourage, or would you prefer to leave it to the more senior players and the more experienced football administration? That's basically my question. Good show tonight, Kerdisha.
Thank you.
Well, we will continue the development program. Like we said, we have established a lot of development programs, and they are all entitled to deal with the young persons, the youth. I mean, we'll talk about the grassroots, we'll talk about the Girls Festival. I mean, that is something that's going to be ongoing. We're not going to take over this program, because if you stop them, then you're destroying the growth of the football. So, but what we plan to do in the coming months is to visit various areas that do not have a development program and start off a program for them. Start off a grassroots, start off a Girls Festival for them. So that will help Dominic Cornwall generally, that if the youth program and if the program are in place, we will survive in football. The caller also mentioned about the administrative part of it. Yes, the club structure is going to help with that. We've also realized that, yes, we want persons that have not lived the sport but played football and maybe they are retired to be at the head of the club. But then we also want to encourage persons that is playing the game, and FIFA encourages that, to be part of their own structure also. So that gives them a sense of ownership. That gives them a sense of administration. Yes, you'll be playing football, but you can be the general secretary of your club, you can be the treasurer of your club, And if you can get outside persons to help you, that will help. But I think we are mainly and will continue our role in the program of development. We will stress on that, and we will make sure that that is ongoing.
All right, I see we're on a roll. We have another caller. Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Hi, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
I heard you said that we were ranked 178, right?
Yes.
Yes, I would like to know 178 out of a total of how much?
He'd like to know how the ranking, how do you do the ranking?
Well, FIFA, there are 209 members in FIFA. So we are 178 out of 209 at this point in time as we speak.
We are 178 out of 209, caller.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, that's great. People are calling, and that's wonderful. So for those of you who want to call, who have a question, the number is 615-6394. So please, if you have a question, feel free to call in. We are eagerly waiting your calls. My guests are skilled and knowledgeable. They're on a roll right now. Now, I just wanted to get into a little bit. You were speaking about the administrative process. How do you exactly become a member of the Dominica Football Association?
Well, again, with the club licensing that we are about to introduce, would makes you a member. Now, I mean, all the teams playing in the DFA League are members now. But then FIFA has seen maybe a different route of development, you know, and it's all in encouraging the teams or the club in their whole management of the club. Because what we have noticed in Dominica that we do things not vice-versa, but we want to play football, but then FIFA is realizing that, listen, yes, we have to play football, but at the same time, we have to have a structure in place. So it's just about structuring the teams now and the clubs. But the DFA is not going to just leave the teams or the clubs astray. We are going to hold their hands and walk the path with them. We're going to guide them properly. So it's not about leaving out anybody from the club structure, but making sure that they fall within the framework of what is designed for the club structure. Okay.
Do you all have a specific number of persons that you know are members right now? Do you have a...
Well, the number is about 54 teams, well, affiliates.
Okay. Yeah. So not members of the board or anything like that? Well, like you are president?
There are 11 members of the board.
Okay.
11 members of the board. You've got the president, you've got the first vice, the second vice, an assistant, secretary, treasurer, you've got the treasurer, secretary, you've got the media officer, the PRO, you've got a youth officer and 3 committee members. So these 11 persons, men and women, presently all men, they comprise the board of what we call the executive committee. And they are the ones charged, together with the affiliates, in making the decisions for the betterment of football. But I just want to...
we have a call. Hold on one sec, we have a call. Hello, good night.
Good night. What are the disciplinary measures for the members of the national team?
She's asking what are the disciplinary measures that you all have in place for members?
Well, there's a disciplinary committee. And if an incident occurs, the DFA will await an official report from the match referee. Because at the end of every game, a referee is expected to submit a report. So if something occurs in a game, we at the DFA, we receive that report from the referee, and if it's a matter that has to be channeled to our committee, which is the disciplinary committee, we will do that. We will inform all parties involved that this matter is going before the disciplinary committee. And that committee it's an independent body in terms of not being influenced by the executive committee. So they would have a hearing and they would hand down a decision. And that decision would be communicated to the players concerned. So that is how players are disciplined. You hear that a player might be banned for 2 games, for 6 months, for 1 year, as the case may be. So there's a process in place to deal with ill discipline and so on.
Okay, I'm sure that answers the caller's question. Very as democratic as possible in the process.
Very much so.
Yes, and you were saying something about the board before.
Well, club.
We're gonna take a break. I was so caught up in everything that's going on. We're gonna take a short break. Don't change your channel. We'll be right back because I'm excited and I know that you're excited. So we'll be right back to Youth Camera Action. Stay tuned.
Have you paid your mapping bill? The 10th of the month is disconnection. Upon disconnection, visit Mapping's main office. You will be required to pay off your balance and the reconnection fee. Reconnections will be done within 72 hours. So, avoid getting disconnected. Pay your mapping bill on time, because life is better with mapping.
It's movies, entertainment, sports, news, travel, cuisine, and arts. Pink TV is here. With over 80 great channels to choose from to satisfy your entertainment needs no matter what. Watch all your pay-per-view programs with ease. Tier services included Fox Soccer Plus, Speed TV, and Tennis. Watch quality local programming like the Channel 5 News and Ion Sports, all from the comfort of your home in full digital and HD. the thrill, the scare, and the emotion. Marpin 2K for Pink TV, bringing value home because life is better with Marpin.
Thanks for staying tuned to Youth Camera Action. Now, before the break, we were speaking to Mr. Degalarie about the board and its members. He was continuing a thought.
Yes, we are very excited in the DFA because we are about to introduce what we call the club licensing structure or the initiative. And this structure is aimed at strengthening club football and protecting the integrity of football. So we are well on our way in terms of its introduction. As Mr. Etienne said, we are prepared and we are willing to guide the teams because under this new structure, there are certain criteria that all these teams are expected to meet. We know it's challenging, but with the hard work and determination, it will be done. For example, one of the criteria or pillar is that of youth development. By that I mean that each club, there must be evidence of a youth program. So in order to get that license, and I should have said that earlier, these clubs, they will need a license to participate in all leagues played under the auspices of the DFA. And in order to get that license, which will be granted by an independent body, these clubs, they must meet 6 criteria. And if you give me some time briefly, I can mention these 6 criteria: sporting, financial, personnel, legal, infrastructure, and social responsibility. And these 6 criteria are in sync with what CONCACAF has and with FIFA. So for example, let us take personnel. On the personnel, these teams would be required, or they must have a president or chairman. They must have a general secretary. They must have a treasurer. They must have a media officer. Just like, in other words, they must have like an executive in order. And if they can, so that's just one criteria. And if that one criteria is met, it means that they are well on their way to getting their license to participate in the league. And I must say that we had a very successful seminar on the 18th of this month, where we officially introduced the club licensing system to our affiliates. And they were very much happy with what took place. And we ourselves were very much happy with what took place. And we are well on our way to implementing that system.
All right. That's wonderful. It's good that you are showing so much initiative in, really regulating the way that football is played, in Dominica. Now, before the break, my wonderful guest decided to give you viewers out there the chance to win a free football. Now, to do that, you have to call in and tell us who was football player of the year last year, male or female, who was football player of the year, and you can win a free football. So the number to call is 615-6394. So you can call 615-6394. You can tell me who was football of the player last year, male or female. You can look it up on the internet, you can Google it quickly, you can do what you have to do to call and win that free football. Now, I know that we are winding down, but there was one topic that I wanted to touch briefly on, and that is women's football, because I know a lot in the show that you all mentioned it, and we don't have a lot of time, but if you can just summarize for me, women's football in Dominica, because I know right now it's a big thing, you have a tournament going on. So, Mr. Etienne, if you can just, summarize that for me nicely, that would be wonderful.
Well, the women's football is on the rise. I must say it's growing by leaps and bounds, and that's all because of the same development programs that we have established. We have established the secondary school competition, and it's ongoing now. And these young ladies at the secondary school, they will showcase their talent, and after then they have the various clubs that they go to. They just came from St. Vincent and made us very happy, I must say, in terms of their placement. They came second in the competition. That is something that the women's were happy about. As we speak, that we are doing the Olympic qualifiers for women, and they are staged with, well, you can see big names like Jamaica and Santo Domingo, so they should be traveling to Santo Domingo in August. Their first game is on the 21st of August against Santo Domingo, and their second game is against Jamaica. But I have confidence in the ladies. I mean, it's shown. They're very eager. I mean, they participate in training very, they take the training seriously. The coaches with the women's team, I must say now, is very, they're very anxious. So in all, the women's football is going places. And like I say, we are going to work now with this primary school to develop this Girls Festival. So we have just put the real programs in place for football, and we'll do just wise for the men. But the women's football is, in terms of the continuity, the stages are well set. So we're expecting the ladies to do well in the next couple of years to come.
And do you think that women's football is getting as much attention as it deserves in Dominica?
I think so. I think there's getting a lot of attention. I mean, we have what eight teams in the league now. So and I mean, I would expect them to get even better next year. I mean, so I think they get a lot of attention in terms of playing football.
Let me just add to that. A few years ago, there was no secondary schools program. There was no girls' festivals. And what we've seen this year, based on the results of the senior team, it is a direct result based on the programs that we put in place. So the girls who took part in the secondary schools competition, because we have coaches going to these various schools and assisting these sports teachers at the schools. So therefore, what we just saw recently is the success, the benefits of these programs that we have put in place. And I want to hasten to add that women's football is on the rise, and it's very exciting because, as it is said in FIFA circles, the future of football is feminine.
That is true. And do you I just wanted to add quickly, is there any special training, or do you all train them just as hard as the men?
Football, they play, the laws that govern men also govern the women.
So non-sexist, they just same thing for everybody.
Let me just add that the next women tournament will be in Dominica next year. So that's something the ladies are buying, and they're very anxious for that tournament next year.
Okay, that's wonderful, and I'm sure that they are looking forward to that.
They are.
Now, we have come to the end of our program. Unfortunately, I always feel like I need an extra hour in this show to cover everything, but I feel like we did a wonderful job. I'm sorry that nobody called the number to win the free football. Maybe I could get it. I don't know, for being for being a good host tonight.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much for taking the opportunity to come up here and talk to us tonight about football, because I learned a lot. I always do, but I learned a lot about football, especially how well Dominica is doing and how hard you at the DFA are trying to promote and push Dominica football. So I just want to say thank you to all the viewers out there who tuned in to Youth Camera Action. Once again, I'm your host, Kerdisha Century. We were joined by Mr. Etienne, President, and Mr. Degalarie of the Dominica Football Association. I'm sure that you all had a great time. I'm sure that you followed us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. Those of you tuned in to tdnentertainment.net, thank you so much for tuning in. Every Wednesday, you can tune into Youth Camera Action, where we will be discussing another interesting topic. We'll be highlighting youth talent. Look out for us. Be sure to call in next time. It's been such a wonderful program. So, once again, thank you for taking the time out. Unfortunately, players couldn't come, but that's okay. We had fun with each other. So have a good night, all of you listening and viewing us out there. Thanks for tuning in.